This is Isaac Smith, and in this video we'll be going over how to add some exterior modifications to the Ruger 2245 Mark III. First, let's take a look, make sure we're empty and safe. Very good. Alright, first modification we're going to make today will be to replace the front sight, and we're going to be installing this TruGlo night sight. And what this is going to do is replace our original factory front sight with the just a steel sight with this night sight, green. To do so, we just have to remove one flathead screw up in the top here. So we'll go ahead and remove that. And we're going to go ahead and reuse the mounting screw. Make sure you get this pretty snug as we set that in place. And what that'll do is will help pick up light as you're getting through there and aiming better than the original. But that's how that's going to look. Alright, next will actually be on this style. We have a suppressor attachment, which can also be used for a brake muzzle. That removes just like that. There is a steel washer, and we're going to leave that in place here. Moving that to the side. And we're going to go with an aluminum style muzzle brake. That just basically threads on here. Like so. Now we have muzzle brake with the night sight, front sight. Next we're going to go and replace the handle grips with a Hogue style. This is an ambidextrous pistol grip. Basically designed to fit right over the original handle grip. So we'll go ahead and take off our mounting screws here. Also there. Always a good idea to save your original parts in your original box, just in case you want it for later use. Or and those will just come off just like that. Little note here not to over tighten because we are going against a plastic polymer surface, and so we want to make sure we don't overdo our tightness on our screws. Those mounting the 4 mounting screws we have there. And we'll take that just like so. Slip that over, and then align just right on top of those mounting screws, and just reinstall. Always try and be really careful when you start those screws. Using your Allen key in this manner allows you a little more speed, a little less torque. That's the best way to start, so you don't cross thread. Just being careful to start smoothly. Just give it a light snug here. Over, secure the other side. Again, making sure not to cross thread as we start those down. And then once we have all 4 secured, we'll do one final snug to make sure that those are all in place. We're all snug there. Alright, lastly, we're going to actually add a top rail, which will allow us to add different sight attachments, lights, different things. So basically turning our 22-45 target pistol into a more modified, specialized target pistol. And for that on top, we just have 3 of these little rails, or little mounting rails right here on top. 1, 2, and 3. Go ahead. Take these original set screws all the way out, and these are more just kind of like plugs from the factory. Your new rail comes with kind of a different style screw that mounts these. The original one I purchased, I actually had to trim down to make it fit, so I was able to use my front sights. If you purchase this, you'll find that when you take it out of the box, it's a little bit longer in the front, so I actually had to trim down just that little section right here. Otherwise, that'll actually rub against your front sight, not allowing you to use it like it was originally. So, being trimmed now, it'll fit perfectly with those 3. And then we go back to Allen key on this. It's always a good idea once you've tightened everything to give everything one final last snug tighten. Then when you go out to go shoot, it's always a really good idea after you've shot out a couple times just to give everything one final snug. Check it again once you're finished, and as you're cleaning, give everything a final snug once you've installed this the first time. Because shooting does definitely create a little bit more jarring and vibration, so make sure you do a real quick, just safety, snug, tight check on all your replaced bolts to make it get a very tight fit. But that kind of concludes everything here. I'm going to do a real quick, make sure everything's all nice and tight. But we now have that Ruger Ruger 22-45 with a muzzle brake. We have a night sight, basically just picks up a little bit extra light so we can see as we're kind of aiming down our sight to see how it's going to look. If I can get it right, but in there. But yeah, that's going to look. That rail also has a little areas so you can actually see between if you're not going to have anything in place as far as like a red dot sight or a scope. And then those Hogue grips gives it just a really good, solid, even grip on the handle there. So, but there we go. There we have it. As far as some easy, pretty fast exterior modifications to the Ruger 2245 Mark III. And if you're interested in how to do that, or also some other questions on the inside stuff, we're going to get a little later, but this pen just covers up all the outside modifications we can do. You can also replace the rear sight, although the original factory sight's a really pretty good sight. There's adjustable both for both the elevation and for windward elevation with an adjustment screw here and also one over here. So that's actually a really great sight for shooting long range or modification because you can actually just change it, adjust it. Everything else pretty factory, and again we can go over some of the interior working, how to make the improvements to the inside later on. But that's basically a quick way to make improvements to the outside of your Ruger 2245 Mark III. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comments section below.